Utsuro no Ma, the empty room. First of all, hello. I want what I'm about to tell you tonight to be recorded, because if one day I fall silent too, only traces will remain. My name is Kensuke Arai. What I do is impossible for most people to accept. Many would probably say that I'm lying. To be honest, in most cases I investigate, nothing truly comes out of it. Usually, they are people overwhelmed by psychological problems. Some exaggerate their experiences and mistake them for supernatural events. But tonight, I will tell you something far more serious. For about 11 years, I have been dealing with spiritual cases in a region located roughly 20 kilometers outside Tokyo, between Saitama and Chiba, a place that barely appears on maps. In Japan, I am not known as a medium. People call me the man who sees what the Kannushi cannot see. Everything began 2 months ago, on a rainy Tuesday. A woman and her young child came to see me. The woman's name was Mizuki Takahara. She was 32 years old. Her son, Ren, was 8. As she spoke, she kept clasping her hands over her abdomen, rubbing something between her fingers. Something that didn't look like a Shinto rosary, but was unmistakably ritualistic. The child did not speak at all. He just stared at the corner of the room. With a trembling voice, Mizuki said, "My son, he talks to the wall. I'm terrified." We hear this often in Japan. Children imagine things. But then she continued, "He can't go to the toilet. He refuses to enter the bathroom. At night, when he hears the sound of water, he cries." She hesitated. Then, almost whispering, she added, "And there are deep tears in his rectal area." At that moment, I shuddered. The temperature in the room dropped. I felt it. I looked at Ren. He was still staring at the wall, but his lips were moving. There was no sound. It was as if the wall was speaking to him in a silent language. First night, 4:19 a.m. That night, I stayed at their house. It was in one of Kawagoe's old neighborhoods, a house with wooden floors, sliding doors, and ceilings lower than usual. But something about the house was wrong. The walls, for some reason, felt too close. I slept on a futon beside the child's bed. I held my notebook in my hands. I did not sleep. I listened. At 4:19 a.m., the whispers began. They were not Japanese. They did not resemble Shinto prayers. I could only understand about 30 to 35% of them. I wrote exactly this in my notebook. 4:20, you're late. 4:27, he is the conduit. 4:52, don't touch him. 5:01, he isn't harming you. Come earlier tomorrow. The voices came from the wall, but there was no echo. When morning came, I found triangular burn marks on Ren's back, on his left shoulder at a precise level, 52 up, 53 down. There were 2 bite marks. This was not an animal, and it was not human. That afternoon, I returned home and prepared an old Shinto protective object, Onino Kuchi, commonly called the demon's claw. It is normally forbidden to use outside a shrine, but this matter had already crossed the shrine's boundaries. Second night, my home. It was 12:10 a.m. An old late-night TV program was playing. The host was making meaningless jokes. I left it on just for the noise. I went to bed at 12:29 a.m. At 2:17 a.m., my doorbell rang. I didn't open it. At 2:51, it rang again. I still didn't open it. At 3:23, it rang a third time. This time, I got up. When I opened the door, there was a boy, about 16 years old. His name was Hiroto, the apartment caretaker's son. "Arai-san, I'm sorry to bother you, but thieves stole your car." I went downstairs. My car was gone. My phone was upstairs. I turned back to Hiroto, but he wasn't looking at me. It was as if I wasn't there at all. The corridor. I went back upstairs. The moment I opened the door, I saw the corridor. One room on the right, one room on the left, one room in the center. The door to the center room slammed shut. Bang! In Shinto, there is a prayer recited in moments like this. Noroi gaeshi. I began to recite it. I walked toward the center room. I opened the door. No one was there. It was my bedroom. I stepped beside the bed. I took off my jacket. The door was still open. Just as I was about to close it, I heard the sound of a key. Someone was unlocking my front door. I stared for about 10 seconds, and then I saw myself. My back was turned. I was taking off my shoes. My breath stopped. I slammed the door shut. I ran. I crawled under the bed. Me, but not me. Less than a minute passed. My bedroom door opened. Someone was breathing rapidly. It was me. He took off his clothes, closed the door, dropped to his knees, and looked under the bed. I couldn't see his eyes, but he was crying. "Please, leave me alone." Blood was flowing from his mouth and ears. I recited prayers, Shinto chants, ancient sutras. When I woke up in the morning, my tongue was split in two, like a snake's tongue. Ren. 2 months ago, on the last day of school, he left home saying, "There's a school fair." He shoved 2 pencils into his nostrils, placed his hands on them, and slammed his head violently into the wall. He died there. Last night, at 2:56 a.m., my doorbell rang again. I did not open it. But this time, from behind the door, I heard the sound of the wall.